Hello everyone, it's Melissa Steele from Team Steele San Diego Homes. And I'm coming to you guys because we've been getting a lot of questions this week on what does the start of the new year do to the market? Is it hot? Is it cold? Has it remained stagnant after the holidays? So what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Would love to know what you think. Because we did see a little bit of a slowdown this past year, especially around the holiday season. So in about October, we started to see the market shift a bit, a little earlier than we typically do because it happens usually mid-November, December, and then into December. But this year, the holiday slowdown started a little bit early in October, and we experienced a slowdown through the end of the year. We had a lot of people rumored to kind of experience a slowdown in the start of the new year, and I'm very curious to see what will happen over the next couple months. But from our experience, I wanted to share you guys what's been happening in regards to the buyers and sellers that we're working with and what we've been seeing in the marketplace in just the last 10 days or so at the start of the new year. So when we hit January 1st, it's not uncommon. We've seen it the last few years as we've been building our business. But January 1st hits, and of course, you and I both know it's a perfect time for New Year's resolutions, goal setting, and setting intentions for the year. So initially in January, right out the gates, we often experience a lot of buyers and sellers who have the intention of making a move this year and either selling their home or buying a new one. So in January, February, we actually see a pretty big influx of people who are hitting the market, hitting the ground running, and it tends to really bring up the market. So for sellers, what we've been experiencing is we had a bunch of sellers. The market in November, December definitely tends to slow down because most sellers, if they can afford to wait or don't have any sense of like distress where they need to sell right now, they're going to hold off on listing their home until the new year, of course, right? Because not many people want to move through the holiday. So in most respects, it is like for our listings that we had coming to market, we advise all of the sellers that we were working with to wait in November and December if they could afford to wait and to list in January, February. So that's what's been happening for us on our team. We just had our first listing hit the market this past Saturday. So a week prior to tomorrow. That's a weird way to say it. Basically like a week ago. We had our first listing hit the market. It was a fixer property. So of course we got a ton of interest. We've got offers rolling in. We have about probably a dozen on the table right now, and I would expect that we'll probably land at about 20. Granted, investment properties are a bit different than traditional sales. We do have a few that we're gearing up to launch and that will be hitting the market in the next couple weeks in terms of traditional listings. And it's a great time, I would say, to list your home. The start of the new year is an awesome time to capture a lot of those new buyers who are out the gates, really excited to get the home buying process started and to achieve their home buying goals this year. So I would say from a selling perspective, the start of the year is an awesome time to list your home. I often see, we just held 2 open houses last weekend and the house had been listed almost 2 weeks, so it wasn't like a super hot listing or super fresh, and we had so many people, probably over a dozen couples come in on Saturday and 13 or 14 on Sunday. So really good traffic for that property. That is not the traffic we would have seen in November, December, that's for sure. We were holding open houses at that time and we'd maybe get 4, 5, 6 people to trickle on through. So big influx of buyers hitting the market hard. So for those of you sellers who are on the fence, who are thinking of maybe waiting till spring or a little bit later in the year, you may want to consider potentially listing sooner rather than later. So thinking about listing sooner, January, February, as we gear up for those heavy spring months, because sometimes this is the part of the year where buyers really want to get out looking before the market gets super, super hot in the summer. So great little tip for sellers. Now on the buyer side, it is a great time to be out buying, not only because tons of listings are hitting the market this time of year. If you were a buyer working for the last few months on your home buying goals, you would probably know that in October, November, December, there are not many listings that hit the market because, like us as agents, we advise a lot of our clients and sellers to wait until the new year to list their homes. So if you are a buyer and you've been looking for a couple months, you've probably in the last week or so have seen a huge influx of property. You've probably been getting more emails, more properties that are fitting your searches, and that's because properties are hitting the market. It's a great time for a property to hit a market. So if you are a buyer out in the field right now, it is a really great time to be shopping because interest rates are still historically low. They're actually lower than they were just a couple weeks ago, so they lessened a little bit. but they are on the rise. So we have a lot of buyers who are very eager at the start of this year to get into a property sooner rather than later in 2019 to take advantage and really set themselves up for success with the lowest interest rate possible. And for those of you who are confused about how interest rate affects your price point, we've done a video on that, a Get Real with Real Estate, so you can search it. We have a blog post on our website, or like seriously, if you are not familiar with the differences between interest rates and purchase prices and which one will end up saving you more money, we get to connect and talk about it, because you will be really shocked at the impact that your interest rate has on the life of your loan. And for example, a $500,000 property at a 4% interest rate, you will end up paying less for that property than, let's say, a $400,000 property at like an 8% interest rate over the life of your loan. Compounding interest, my friends. Little tidbit. So for the buyers who are savvy and aware of what the market's doing and are keeping an eye on interest rates, they are out in the marketplace looking for their next property before those interest rates hike up. So if you are planning on making a move in 2019, whether that be to buy a home, maybe it's your first home, that could be really exciting, whether it be to sell a home, maybe you've got investment properties you want to unload while the market's still hot, maybe you have been living in a home for a long time and you're ready to switch to something new, whatever it looks like, or maybe you're ready to start investing. It's like John and I just bought our property last June. I tell people all the time, I would not have bought a property in San Diego if I didn't feel as though we still have opportunity to see appreciation in this area. So if you are thinking of making a move in 2019, whatever it looks like, we would love to grab a cup of coffee with you. And you guys know by now that we are not the pushy agents. I would just love to connect with you and educate you on what might be possible and what you might be able to achieve this year so we can accomplish your real estate goals together. So looking forward to hearing from you. I hope you're doing well. I would love to know if you've got real estate goals for 2019. If you do, please put them in the comments below. I know John and I have a couple of real estate goals of 2019. For one, we are committed to finishing the build out of the units in the back. We also would love to make another investment, whether that be in real estate or something related. So we've got some big real estate goals ourselves for 2019. I would love to know what yours are and if we might be able to help you guys achieve them. So happy Friday. Hope you're doing well. Talk to you soon.